December 16 is a significant day for India and its neighbors Bangladesh and Pakistan. In 1971, India won the war against Pakistan that resulted in the birth of Bangladesh, then East Pakistan. On this day 47 years ago, Pakistan lost half its country, its forces in the east, and had to publicly surrender to India. It was also the largest military surrender after World War II. The war started when Pakistan launched airstrikes on 11 Indian airbases. It was perhaps the first time in which India's all three forces fought in unison. India quickly responded to Pakistan Army's movements in the west, and captured around 15,010 kilometers of Pakistan territory. The war ended after the chief of the Pakistani forces, General Amir Abdullah Khan Niazi, along with 93,000 troops, surrendered to the joint forces of Indian Army and Bangladesh's Mukti Bahini. General A.K. Niazi signed the instrument of surrender on 16 December 1971 in Dhaka, marking the formation of East Pakistan as the new nation of Bangladesh. Pakistan also lost half of its territory with the birth of Bangladesh. The war lasted for just 13 days, and is one of the shortest wars in history. The military confrontation between India and Pakistan occurred from 3 December 1971 to the fall of Dhaka on 16 December 1971. The Indian Army brought Pakistani army to its knees, took 93,000 Pakistani prisoners, and gave 75 million people of Bangladesh their independence. Over 3,800 soldiers of India and Pakistan lost their lives in this war to end the genocide Pakistan had been conducting against the Bengali population of East Pakistan. The conflict was a result of the Bangladesh Liberation War, when Bangladesh, then East Pakistan, was fighting to seek freedom from West Pakistan. In 1971, Pakistani army began to commit the barbaric genocide on innocent Bengali population, particularly the minority Hindu population in East Pakistan. As Pakistan's atrocities increased, former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi decided to take action against Pakistan at the same time give refuge to civilians from other side of the border. She ordered Army Chief General Sam Manekshaw to launch offensive against Pakistan, following which India launched a full-scale war against its neighbor. It is estimated that between 300,000 and 3 million civilians were killed in Bangladesh. Rape, torture, killings and conflicts followed due to witch-hate. Members of the Pakistani military and Razakar raped between 200,000 and 400,000 Bangladeshi women and girls, in a systematic campaign of genocidal rape. Most of the rape victims of the Pakistani army and its allies were Hindu women. Imams and Muslim religious leaders declared the women war booty, and supported the rapes. The activists and leaders of Islamic parties were also involved in the rapes and abduction of women. Indira Gandhi also appealed to world leaders to intervene and pressurize Pakistan to stop its brutalities, but India did not have much time, and a quick response became necessary. By November 1971, an Indian-Pakistani war seemed inevitable. The Soviet Union reportedly warned Pakistan against the war, which they termed a suicidal course for Pakistan's unity. Despite this warning, in November 1971, thousands of people led by conservative Pakistani politicians marched in Lahore and across Pakistan, calling for Pakistan to crush India. India responded by starting a massive buildup of the Indian Army on the western borders. The army waited until December, when the drier ground in the east would have made for easier operations, and the Himalayan passes would have been closed by snow, preventing any Chinese intervention. On 23 November, President Yahya Khan declared a state of emergency in all of Pakistan, and told his people to prepare for war. On the evening of 3 December, at about 1740, the Pakistan Air Force, PAF, launched surprise preemptive strikes on 11 airfields in northwestern India, including Agra, which was 480 kilometers 300 mi from the border. At the time of this attack, the Taj Mahal had been camouflaged with a forest of twigs and leaves and draped with burlap, because its marble glowed like a white beacon in the moonlight. These preemptive strikes, known as Operation Genghis Khan, were inspired by the success of Israeli Operation Focus in the Arab-Israeli Six-Day War. Unlike the Israeli attack on Arab airbases in 1967, which involved a large number of Israeli planes, Pakistan flew no more than 50 planes to India. In an address to the nation on radio that same evening, Prime Minister Gandhi held that the airstrikes were a declaration of war against India, and the Indian Air Force, IF, responded with initial airstrikes that very night. These expanded to massive retaliatory airstrikes the next morning. Unlike the 1965 war, the Navy NHQ staffers and commanders of the Pakistan Navy knew very well that the Navy was ill-prepared for the naval conflict with India. The Pakistan Navy was in no condition of fighting an offensive war in deep sea against the Indian Navy, and neither was it in a condition to mount serious defense against Indian Navy's seaborne encroachment. In the western theater of the war, the Indian Navy's Western Naval Command under Vice Admiral S. N. Kohli successfully launched a surprise attack on Karachi port on the night of 4/5 December 1971, under the codename Trident. The naval attack involving the Soviet-built Osa missile boats sank the Pakistan Navy's destroyer PNS Khyber and minesweeper PNS Muhafiz, while PNS Shah Jahan was also badly damaged. Pakistani naval sources reported that about 720 Pakistani sailors were killed or wounded, and Pakistan lost reserve fuel in many commercial ships, thus crippling the Pakistan Navy's further involvement in the conflict. In retaliation, the Pakistan Navy submarines, Hangar, Mangrove, and Shushik, began their operations to seek out the major Indian warships. On 9 December 1971, Hangar sank Ind's Kukri, inflicting 194 Indian casualties, and this attack was the first submarine kill since World War II. The sinking of Ind's Kukri was followed by another Indian attack on Karachi port on the night of 8-9 December 1971, under the codename Python. A squadron of Indian Navy's Osa missile boats approached the Karachi port and launched a series of Soviet-acquired Styx missiles that resulted in further destruction of reserve fuel tanks and the sinking of 3 Pakistani merchant ships, as well as foreign ships docked in Karachi. The Pakistan Air Force did not attack the Indian Navy ships, and confusion remained the next day when the civilian pilots of Pakistan International, acting as reconnaissance war pilots, misidentified PNS Zulfikar, and the Air Force attacked its own warship, inflicting major damages and killing several officers on board. In the eastern theater of the war, the Indian Eastern Naval Command, under Vice Admiral Nilakanta Krishnan, completely isolated East Pakistan by a naval blockade in the Bay of Bengal, trapping the Eastern Pakistan Navy and 8 foreign merchant ships in their ports. From 4 December onwards, the aircraft carrier Ind's Vikram was deployed, and its Seahawk fighter bombers attacked many coastal towns in East Pakistan, including Chittagong and Cox's Bazar. Pakistan countered the threat by sending the submarine PNS Ghazi, which sank en route under mysterious circumstances off Visakhapatnam's coast. As the Indian Army tightened its grip in the East Pakistan, the Indian Air Force continued with its attacks against Pakistan, as the campaign developed into a series of daylight anti-airfield, anti-radar, and close support attacks by fighter jets, with night attacks against airfields and strategic targets by Canberras and An-12s, while Pakistan responded with similar night attacks, with its B-57s and C-130s. Before the start of the war, the Indian Army was well organized on both fronts, and enjoyed significant numerical superiority over the Pakistan Army. The Indian Army's extraordinary war performance at both fronts brought up the prestige, confidence, and dignity that it had lost during the war with China in 1962. When the conflict started, the war immediately took a decisive turn in favor of India and their Bengali rebel allies militarily and diplomatically. On both fronts, Pakistan launched several ground offensives, but the Indian Army held its ground and initiated well-coordinated ground operations on both fronts. Major ground attacks were concentrated on the western border by the Pakistan Army, fighting together with the Pakistan Marines in the southern border, but the Indian Army was successful in penetrating into Pakistani soil. It eventually made some quick and initial gains, including the capture of around 15,010 km2, 5,795 sq.mi, of Pakistani territory. This land gained by India in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Punjab and Sindh sectors, was later ceded in the Simla Agreement of 1972, as a gesture of goodwill. Casualties inflicted to Pakistan Army's 1st Corps, 2nd Corps, and Pakistan Marines Punjab Detachment were very high, and many soldiers and Marines perished due to lack of operational planning and lack of coordination within the Marine Army formations against Indian Army's southern and western commands. By the time the war came to end, the Army soldiers and Marines were highly demoralized both emotionally and psychologically on the Western Front, and had no will to put up a defensive fight against the approaching Indian Army soldiers. The War Inquiry Commission later exposed the fact that for the Pakistan Army and Pakistan Marines, the arms and training of Marines, soldiers and officers, were needed at every level, and every level of command. Indira Gandhi was reluctant to launch a full-scale war against Pakistan, as the country was already facing the burden due to the continuous flow of refugees from East Pakistan, and entering a war meant inviting more burden. On December 6, she announced in Parliament that India had accorded recognition to the Bangladesh government. On August 2, 1972, India and Pakistan signed the Shimla Agreement, under which the former agreed to release all the 93,000 Pakistani prisoners of war.